Well, what are our boys up to this year? They have decided to go over to Europe and see what the mountains there have to offer. But first, it's off to the airport to board the plane for the long flight. Our boys are airborne, and it's time to relax. Here they are, seeing the Alps for the first time. And the boys are off to the picturesque town of Chamonix, nestled in the valley below Mt Blanc. Pointed out by two of the early mountaineering pioneers.
Live from Chamonix, it's the Tour du Mont Blanc. Yes.
And now for something completely different. Hi. This year I'm going to take you on a most spectacular hike. You know, some hikes are known as classic or historic, and they earn these accolades for good reason. So this year, together with some friends, we chose a hike that had earned both of these credentials. The hike was over in Europe, in the Alps, called the Tour du Mont Blanc. It is a hike that circles around the range of mountains dominated by the highest one in the Alps, Mt Blanc. It is a circuit of approximately 110 miles with an altitude ascent and descent of some 40,000 feet, and with a few passes over 8,000 feet thrown in for good measure. It usually takes several days to circumnavigate this range. As the snow usually blocks these passes until early June, and the mountain huts tend not to open till mid-June, we chose to go on this hike in late June, early July, and that way we'd be able to catch the wildflowers at their best. Chamonix and its glaciers became very popular in the 1900s and onwards, and the Tour du Mont Blanc grew from this. So how do you persuade your friends that a 100-mile walk isn't that far? Look, these people are having so much fun. There's beautiful flowers and mountain views, and there's beer. However, you must never show them pictures like these. Bruce. Seems a long way round just to get to see the large Hadron Collider. Ed. Fresh from wrestling crocodiles. Question time with Barry? Yep. Fran, our guide from Tracks and Trails, our minder and great friend for the trip. Chamonix is the birthplace of mountaineering, and it's a bustling, pleasant, an enjoyable place to relax before starting our hiking. Turns out we just missed out on meeting the sign-up deadline for the Mt Blanc 90-kilometer marathon. Oh well, always next year. You know, Ed, we have to start walking soon. We can't be schmoozing by the pool forever. We decided to do a day hike up the ridge between Glacier des Bossons and Glacier de Taconneres to the Chalet des Pyramids, around 6,000 feet. hike offers great views of the Boson Glacier, but you can see it's retreated over the years. The hike had a pretty stiff climb on a fairly warm day, and it shook out the cobwebs. The view of the glacier on the other side of the ridge, Glacier de Taconais. A perfectly placed bronze statue on the way up. Some well-earned refreshments at the Chalet des Pyramides. We start our hike in La Houche, and then we head up to the ridge called Veza, and then we're going to head along the ridge and drop down to the exit over the river from the Glacier de Montmartre, and then up to Col de Tricot, drop down to the hamlet of Chalet de Méage over Mount Truc, and then drop down into Les Containments. So looking over at the Aiguille de Bonassé, in our route we'll be heading over there to that glacier. As we were passing through the meadows, we couldn't believe how lucky we were. They're covered in a whole variety of wildflowers. They're just beautiful. We can now see the Bonassé Glacier, and you can see that all of these glaciers have retreated significantly. Crossing the suspension bridge over the runoff from the glacier. Notice all the signs give time to destination, not mileage. Making our way up to the Col de Tricot at just over 2,000 meters, around 6,000 feet. On top of the col, looking over to the Dôme de Miage, and then below is the small hamlet of Chalet de Miage. Lupins seem to grow all over the world, so it's a good place to stop for some refreshments. Climb up out of the valley over Mount Truc, and then drop down into the town of Contamines. And welcome lodgings for the night. Today we start from the town of Contamines, pleasant walk alongside the river, up the valley. Steady climb following the old Roman road and through the high meadows. Then a climb up to the Col de Bonhomme over the top, and then we traverse around to the refuge Croc de Bonhomme. There's a good sign. We're all standing upright for the second day. Some nice foxgloves and signs saying the refugio is open. Even better. Pleasant walk along the old Roman road and across the Roman bridge. I can smell something. I think it's coffee, Ed. We arrive at the conveniently located Refuge La Balme. We kept crossing paths with this couple from Albania in their smart matching outfits. Maybe we should adopt this. In the summer, the cows are brought up to these high meadows to graze. We're starting to notice that Fran is always pointing uphill. The top of the Col de Bonhomme is now coming into view, and we can see there's quite a bit of lingering snow.
Move.
Is that video?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Top of the col, around 7,000 feet. There's a lot of snow. Time for a break. And these rock plants snuggle in the rock, braving the elements. We spotted some ibex way up on the ridge, quite a long way away. It was on this icy and snow section that Ed had an unfortunate fall and twisted his ankle. We were able to ice it up, since there's a lot of snow, and make it to the refuge, which we're able to short distance away. This is our stop for the night at the Refuge Bonhomme, approximately altitude of 8,000 feet here. In the evening we spotted some more ibex, a little closer this time. Well, we had a long morning descent of 3,000 feet to the village of Les Champeaux. Ed was still nursing his ankle, and so we arranged to have him transported around to Courmayeur, where we'd meet up in the evening. The route then travels up the valley, great cow grazing meadows here, and then we ascend the Col de la Seine. Well, we climb back up to around 8,200 feet again, and then we'll be heading down the other side through the valley to the trailhead, where we'll pick up a bus into Courmayeur. Well, another beautiful morning as we head off. Long descent, some snow at the top to negotiate again, and then head down through the meadows with lots of sheep and cows into the village of Les Champers, and pick up some food for lunch at the shop. We're making our way up slowly up to the col through very lush meadows. This big cattle grazing area. It's around 8,200 feet. Time for lunch. Spectacular scenery. We can see the Brenva face of Mont Blanc and the spiky peaks of Combal. And looks like we've got a lot of snow on the descent. One way of quickly descending a couple of thousand feet is by glissading. Oh, sort of attempting.
There you go, try a sitting glissade. Whoa, he's going sideways. Oh, he's wiped out. I don't even know where Fran went. There she is.
We pass by the Elisabetta refuge and head off down the valley, and it's down this area where we'll be crossing the border into Italy, although it's not obvious where it is. Well, it's getting to be late afternoon, fairly long day, lots of ups and downs, and now we're on the bottom of the valley, and just what we need is a track that seems to just disappear into the horizon. This is the old moraine from the Glacier de Maillage that has now retreated way back up the valley, and somewhere along there we crossed into Italy. We have arrived in Courmayeur, where we'll be staying over, do some sightseeing. The hotel though seems to have got our number. You can return to Chamonix 3 ways from here. You can go over the top of the mountains via the cable car, through the tunnel, or just walk the TMB.
Looking for him. I know they think I'm crazy, but I'll ask them once again, where's Eddie?
What better way than to see the mountains up close is to get whisked by cable car up to 11,300 feet. It's Mt Blanc, around 15,700 feet. You can just see a couple of climbers there returning. Looking at the Grand Fambu and then Mont Blanc, and then further down the ridge the Aiguille de Putbray. Yeah, everybody seems remarkably calm considering our decision on a rapid descent mode. Well, we're all suited up and making our way down the gantry to the launch platform. Barry ready to launch, Bruce and Ed in the background there, waiting their turn, and off we go. Whoa, bit of a hard landing there. Yeah, that's enough excitement for one day. So we're back in Courmayeur, have a couple of beers, put our feet up, ready for the following day's spectacular hike. Pretty well out of the starting gate. We have a long climb to get up onto the ridge, and then we traverse alongside this side of the valley with great views of the mountains on the other side. Drop down to the valley and back up and up to the refugio. Usual shakedown in the morning, trying to settle up our accounts. Come on, Barry, cough up some of those bitcoins. Interesting roofing material. Unlike our thin slates, here they use very thick slabs and heavy pieces of sheared fieldstone. Making our way through the town and out towards the trailhead. Yeah, we're in for a couple of hours of fairly steep climbing. When we get a little further on, we'll be looking across the valley to where we were yesterday at the top of the cable car lift.
Yes, the 3-day climb over. Yeah.
After the stiff climb, we reached the Bertone hut, and didn't the coffee alarm just go off? Uh-oh, here comes Fran's warning sign about getting moving. The trail, now high up on the side of the valley, follows the Val Ferret, the valley below, as we look over to the peaks of the Grand Juras and its many glaciers. One glacier in particular has given rise to much concern. This is the hanging glacier Plan Pensieux, due to its imminent collapse. Later in the season we found out that they closed the road in the valley for safety reasons.
Check. Check.
We reached the Bonatti hut, named after the famous Italian mountaineer, climber Walter Bonatti, who had many first ascents to his name. While Fran was looking the other way and distracted, Barry and myself took the opportunity for a little afternoon nap beside the babbling brook in peaceful meadow. Couple more miles to go and the Elena hut comes into view where we'll be staying the night. Hopefully a hearty meal, pint of beer and a good snooze.